4-4-2. 4 defenders, for midfielders in a flat line, 2 strikers up front. 4-4-2 was the standard formation used by almost every team in the world for decades. It is balanced, you have width on both sides, 2 players to score goals, and a solid defensive shape. But the problem is the midfield. Against a team playing 3 central midfielders, your 4 get outnumbered in the middle of the pitch. You lose control of the game. That is why most top teams move away from it. 4-4-2 is best suited for teams with 2 physical, clinical strikers who can hold the ball and finish. For 3-3. For defenders, 3 central midfielders, 3 attackers. 4-3-3 is the most widely used formation in world football right now. With 3 midfielders, you outnumber most teams in the center. And the 2 wide attackers stretch the opposition defense, creating space for the striker. But the wide attackers are key. In a true 4-3-3, they cut inside to score, not cross the ball. If they only cross, the shape becomes a 4-5-1. 4-3-3 is best suited for technical, possession-based teams that dominate the ball. 4-2-3-1. For defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, 1 striker. The 2 defensive midfielders, called the double pivot, sit in front of the defense. They win the ball back and recycle possession. Because of this, the 3 players behind the striker have more freedom to create. However, if the double pivot is slow or out of position, the space between midfield and defense becomes exposed. 4-2-3-1 is best suited for teams with 1 strong striker and creative midfielders behind him. 3-5-2. 3 center backs, 5 midfielders, 2 strikers. The 2 wide players in the 3-5-2 are called wingbacks. They are not normal defenders. They defend like fullbacks and attack like wingers, covering the entire flank in both directions. When defending, the wingbacks drop back to form a back 5, making the team very hard to break down. When attacking, they push forward and give the team width. But 3-5-2 requires wingbacks with very high stamina. If they tire, the flanks become exposed. 3-4-3. 3 defenders, for midfielders, 3 attackers. 3-4-3 is an aggressive formation. 6 players are positioned in or near the attacking half, which creates constant pressure on the opposition. But because so many players are pushed forward, 3-4-3 leaves the team vulnerable on the counterattack. If possession is lost high up the pitch, only 3 defenders remain. 3-4-3 is best suited for teams with fast, technically strong defenders who can play out from the back. 4-5-1. For defenders, 5 midfielders, 1 striker. For 5-1 prioritizes defensive solidity above everything else. The 5 midfielders form 2 compact banks, leaving almost no space between the lines for the opposition to operate. However, the lone striker is often isolated. Without regular supply from midfield, the team struggles to create chances. That is why 4-5-1 is mostly used by teams defending a lead or by smaller sides facing stronger opponents. 5-3-2. 5 defenders, 3 midfielders, 2 strikers. 5-3-2 looks similar to the 3-5-2, but the difference is in the wide defenders. In the 3-5-2, they bomb forward constantly as wingbacks. In the 5-3-2, they stay deeper and defend first. As a result, 5-3-2 is more conservative. The team is very hard to score against, but it relies on the 2 strikers to create something from limited possession. For 1-4-1, for defenders, 1 holding midfielder, for attacking midfielders, 1 striker. The single holding midfielder, called the pivot, is the most important player in 4-1-4-1. He sits directly in front of the defense, protects the back line, and constantly receives the ball to keep possession moving. Because the pivot covers defensively, the 4 midfielders ahead of him have freedom to move, combine, and create. But if the pivot makes mistakes or gets beaten, the defense is immediately exposed. 4-3-2-1, also known as the Christmas tree. For defenders, 3 midfielders, 2 attacking midfielders in the pockets, 1 striker. The shape gets its name from how it looks on the pitch. And just to make this clear, here is the formation next to an actual Christmas tree. For 3-2-1 floods the central zones. The 2 players behind the striker find space in dangerous areas between the opposition midfield and defense. However, there is no width at all. A team with fast wingers can exploit the flanks freely. 2-3-5, also called the pyramid. 2 defenders, 3 midfielders, 5 attackers. 2-3-5 was the dominant formation from the 1880s through the 1930s. At the time, the offside rule was different, which allowed teams to push almost everyone forward without being punished. But when the offside rule changed in 1925, teams using 2-3-5 started conceding heavily. Managers were forced to pull players back and add a third defender. Almost every formation used today can be traced back as a direct evolution of the pyramid.